Hey guys, Chris here, seeing you back from CNH Small Engine again for another quick video here. Today we got a good old SEARS Snowblower. This is a single stage, non-self-propelled snowblower. The machine was supposedly I think about 3 years old. The customer told me on the phone here when he originally brought it over here. He was claiming the machine was sitting in his storage unit at his garage, I guess, and it has not been used for about 2.5 years since he originally bought it, because he originally bought it supposedly 3 years ago and used it one time for about an hour, and he didn't no longer need to use it after that because we didn't have any kind of major significant snowfall. That's why the machine actually looks in great shape as it is right now. This is the newer generation that has the Chinese engine on them as well too. As you see, the paddles for the actual rubber pieces down here are still in excellent shape, so the paddles are almost like brand new underneath here for that, because the machine, like I said before, only been used for probably about an hour's time period, and it has not any kind of significant wear on the actual paddles as well too. I'll give you a shot of the actual tag right here for this specific machine here, and you can see that as well too here for you guys. This is a SEARS Craftsman. So you can zoom in here a little bit more for you. SEARS Craftsman, model number 247.116830, with a serial date of 1J13 4B20697. Date of manufacture 1014. So the guy was off maybe about a year right there specifically for this machine. So it was probably made about a year before he actually purchased the machine. And as far as I know, these are MTD style machines, because they have the MTD model number below the actual call it the actual model number and serial number for the actual SEARS. They have them in the lower right corner down here as well too. You can see the actual MTD number right down here. It's 31A, so that's the MTD equivalent for the specifics on this machine right here. Plus you also have the other thing up here, is this MTD consumer group as well too, for the other tag right there specifically for that. So this machine is in great shape, as you see right here. This is the newer design, 21-inch newer, I should say 21-inch revised design that no longer has the Briggs or the Tecumseh engines on. It's the Chinese version, as I said before. It has a 123cc 4-cycle overhead valve engine on this machine specifically, so there's your ID tag for that as well too. And I'll give you a shot what it looks like in the back here as well too, guys, for the controls and your bail control and your starting and everything else back here for that. You got your primer bulb right here in the middle. You do have to prime these things about 5 to 7 times, because these carbs on these machines are extremely lean running, to say the least. Plus you have your ignition key over here on the right hand side right here. So this is your ignition key as well too, guys. That thing has to be in all the time. Whoop, popped it right out. You got to put these things back in all the time. Make sure they're always in there. And you have to have 5W30 for the specific oil weight, because it's going to be operating in cold climates, probably below 32. I'd say between 32 and probably about 0 degrees out there, more likely. And you should use Mobil 1 full synthetic extended performance oil if you're going to be using it in cold climates. Or you can probably use 0W30 if it's even colder than that out there, specifically to get the thing spinning over faster for you guys. And here's what the engine looks like underneath here as well too. You got the carburetor sitting right here, and you got your 2 mining bolts, and that's basically everything that's being held in position for these newer style carburetors on this machine right here. And you also have the serial number and lot number down there on the actual engine block right there, specifically for the engine itself right here. Plus you have the second identification tag of the engine's manufacturer right down there as well too. So you have 2 different identification tags on this machine right here. The reason this guy brought this machine over here originally was because the machine, he was basically claiming it was pissing gas all over his garage after he took it home from his storage unit, and the machine would not start, and it was pissing gas. And he brought it over to us, and we also found out he had severe fuel and oil dilution on here, which means he had the entire crankcase filled with oil all the way to the top. So you have your dipstick over there, as you see right there, guys, and the crankcase was filled to the brim with oil and gas mix, and we had to drain it out and basically fill up a new oil and run it for about 10 or 15 minutes and run it again. And we'd have changed the oil basically about 3 times on this machine, because after we got done putting the carb on, you always have to do that because you do not want to start and run the machine with fuel and oil mixed in a crankcase. But it is bad for the bearings and internal parts of the engine because they have to be internally lubed with oil only. You cannot have a oil and gas mix because it'll damage the engine internally, guys. The other thing was he was complaining about some kind of a loose rattling on the engine on here as well too, and we found that the 2 bolts on top of the actual muffler itself right there were basically came off. And that's one of the problems you have on some of these cheaper machines out there. Because if it's a Chinese-made machine, the quality is not as what it would be on a Briggs or a Honda machine out there for that specifically. So we had to order a couple new mounting bolts. I can't really show it to you right now, but they're on top of the mounting bracket right here, up on top of the car, or up on top of the actual covering. They have a shroud over top of the muffler, so you don't get your hands burned if somebody accidentally puts their hands up underneath you right here. But the 2 bolts, there's one right here, and there's a second one right in the back right here. They have 2 mounting bolts on top of the shroud that actually bolts directly to the muffler itself, and they were both missing. And I guess somebody at the factory didn't torque them up or didn't put any kind of thread lock or something else on them, but they were definitely missing, and they had to be replaced and are specifically for that. And anytime you do replace the carbs on these machines, you must always drain out the fuel in here, put new fuel back in there, and make sure the tank's completely cleaned out all the time. Make sure the line's cleaned out, because unfortunately we always see guys bring the machines over here, they have some kind of sediment, debris, water in their tank, and because of that fact, they want us to warranty some kind of a job after we already did it, and we cannot warranty any kind of fuel contamination related issues over here, because if a customer takes a machine home and if they have old gas, dirty gas, bad gas from a year or something they put in their snowblower before, we cannot warranty it. The manufacturer will not warranty it, and any other repair shops will not warranty as well too, because of that fact. You have to use clean, fresh, non-contaminated gasoline under 30 days old, and that's all I can really tell you about that. Plus, if you're going to be having a snowblower out here, guys, these snowblowers should always have the fuel drained out of the machine prior to putting in any kind of long-term storage. What I mean by long-term storage is anything over 30 days, because as I said before, 30 days is the requirement for the fuel to start breaking down, and you must remove all the gas out of the tank, line, and carburetor, because you can actually drain the actual bowl out of most of the machines out there. This one right here, you do have a bolt on the bottom of the carb, so all you gotta do is just open the bolt up and drain the carb out directly right there for that, and try to fire up again, hit the primer button a couple of times, just prime it over a couple times, and it should remove all the gasoline out of the machine. So we'll go ahead and fire this thing up here for you guys. You can see it running here. It should be okay. Let me just choke it right now, and might be able to pull it over okay right here if doesn't have any problems. So I'm gonna prime here at one time. This thing was running. I ran here about I'd say about 5 minutes ago. So yep, don't want to go now. I'll prime it a couple more times. There we go. There we go, guys. Got it running. Sorry for the delay. Got it running good now. As I said before, these newer engines, they are extremely lean running, so it may take 2 to 4 pulls, even if the machine is warm, as it was for this one right here. So always be mindful of that. Here's the 2 bolts. You see the 2 bolts right there. Those bolts were missing, and we had to replace those 2 bolts right on top of the engine. Primer works good, and the ignition key works good. We'll check the augers here as well too, guys. Augers are working good. So the machine's ready to go back to the customer. That's everything I can show you about this job right here, so we'll go ahead and shut it off. So there you go, guys. If anybody has any comments, questions, whatnot, feel free to leave me a message here, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible with some kind of a detailed answer to a question you have something about this particular machine. So I'll see you guys. Have a nice day.